The Senate has passed for consideration a bill for an act to establish the National Industrial Technology Park as a mechanism for clustering of knowledge and innovation-based industrial parks formation in Nigeria and for other purposes. But the bill is geared toward economic development, youth empowerment, and capacity building. According to the Senate, the industrial park, when established, will be an avenue for Nigerian entrepreneurs to converge and showcase their ideas and creativity, thereby reducing unemployment and restiveness in the country. The bill also has been referred to the Committee on Trade and Investment to report back to the House in 4 weeks' time. All right, let's talk about these development and its impact on the economy, especially with the economic realities of the country. Mr. Olusegun Okwande is the chairman of Ikeja District Society of ICANN. He joins us via the telephone now. Thank you for your time. We appreciate you, sir.
Good morning, Frank, and good morning, viewers. My pleasure to be here this morning.
Okay. So let's look at this bill. Of course, is still, in motion. Let me put it that way. It's still being discussed. But that yesterday it passed for second reading at the Senate, and the bill is targeted at more of like a revamping the creative ecosystem in Nigeria. Now, how did you receive this, and what can you say about this particular development, especially the move in the House of the Senate?
Thank you very much, Frank. I think I need to give kudos to the senator who sponsored this bill. That is senior professional colleague, Senator Ibikunle Amosu, the former governor of Ogun State. It's an FCA too, and sponsoring this, it brings to bear the importance and some of the skills we accountants possess. Bringing up this, it will go a very long way, because you're talking about the startup businesses, the tech up, where the young ones who understand the current things that are trending can bring in their ideas. You see, gone are those days when you can just be a monopoly of knowledge. Sit in your house, develop something, and feel that that thing will go far. But now you need synergy, you need an handshake. Somebody understand how the ear in the head works. Somebody understand how you can plug in the hand. So you need a central base to bring together some of these people, and that's why I appreciate this laudable move by the Senate to establish an industrial hub where the startup business, the technological hub, can showcase their idea, consolidate with one another, synergize, and become one of it. I'm sure it's no news, the giant stride that the likes of Floataways, Paystart are making in the world today. And this is a product of Nigeria. So if we are talking about, exporting some of the things that we have, the area to go is the idea of technology. And not until when you have a central base where you can coordinate the idea of 1, 2, 3 people and make it a single product that is sellable out there. We may not be going anywhere. So it's a good and appreciable move by the Senate. Hope you see the light of the day.
It's very important. We also need to highlight some the past bills, because the comment we'll be having is that yes, we had bills like these, being passed and nothing was done about it. Of course, this is laudable, like you said, but let's look at it critically and what we should be looking at in this bill. Yes, the bill, it talks about the fact that we need to look at knowledge-based economy, innovation, formation, industrial parks formation in Nigeria as it well. But what should we be talking more at this time when we talk about this particular bill of this nature? What should we be looking at apart from technology? Because yes, technology, it's something that a lot of people are exploring. Most economies are exploring it. But then, for us in Nigeria, what do you think is key that we need to look at?
Yeah, well, we cannot, like you said, underestimate technology because that is the bedrock as we speak of every businesses now. Those days we find it difficult able to do what we are doing now. But part of the technology has, shortened the bridge, the gap in such a way. But for the additions that I feel we need to do is this we kind of we harmonize the idea of individuals that are just doing their things on their own. There is this beauty that we enjoy when we synergize. And the common ground this can give to us is to have a central place where those ideas can converge and have somebody coordinating it at the end of the affair. If I go back to part of the things you said that we've had several bills, being passed and nothing is happening, I'm sure the executive, who will definitely be the one to implement this bill when it's being passed, will not want to play or underestimate some of these things. Yesterday we read in the news of certain young people coming up to say they develop an app that can track, insurgency on the real. And you ask yourself the question, is this visible? Most of the time before now, everything that has to do with the country is import-based. But now we are seeing our young entrepreneur coming up in the film world. You see, if you are able to get the technology right, the manufacturing sector, the production sector, the service sector, the health sector, name it, will fall in place. We've seen in Rwanda instances where drone goes around to drop drugs, where people will go that far. That's the extent technology can go. So you discover that with the advent of that, we have come one way to assist the health sector. We have seen instances, even in our profession, people go and do stock count. But these days, you see, you program drones and they go ahead and do your stock checking for you at the end of the year. So technology is the bedrock for every businesses to try. If we are able to even get that right, I can tell you the level of insecurity we are talking of. You have artificial intelligence that think faster than the processing unit of a human being. So all you need to do is to give him different scenarios of things that can happen, plug into it, and you discover that you will be able to give interpretation and guide you the way to go. So it's the bedrock for every other sector to ride on. There is no sector as we speak. Even my accounting profession, people now discover that you need technology to move. So it's the bedrock, and if this is passed, I'm very sure that the executive who are set to implement it will not just share it by the side, but take it to client and say to make sure that this comes to reality, so that our youths can be engaged for better.
Let me make some highlights of the bill as it is now. The bill is highlighting. One of the highlights is that it's going to be an avenue for Nigerian entrepreneurs to converge and showcase their ideas, and also to promote creativity. And also, the bill is also highlighting to help startups and have an environment where they can contribute to the development of the country. Another highlight of that bill is that it will help full-scale industrialization. And we also have the fact that it's going to diversify the economy from a monolithic economy that is oil dependent. Now, I want us to look at them one after the other, especially. But first, let's look at the industrialization and the concept of industrialization, as it were, in other developed economies and how it is done. In your own opinion, when we talk about full-scale industrialization, what should we be looking at? What are the things that need to make up that full-scale industrialization in terms of human capacity? You talk about investment and of course, policies to drive that environment.
If you talk about the full-fledged industrialization, like I said, if you compare the level at which things are being done now to 10, 20 years ago, you discover that things are changing. And I will still go back to the idea of saying that most of the people that are doing this are riding on technology to drive their industries.
Right.
And that is the intake way to go. If you look at the problem that we have faced between Ukraine and Russia, as we speak, it's getting to the level that it's not a physical war any longer. But we have started seeing instances that cyber security have been threatened on the part of people. And that is even more dangerous than the physical fight we're talking about, because that will go a very long way to bring down the economy of so many countries. And that's why that area is being protected. So the current threat that we have is, if you're able to develop the technological base of our nation, it will help our industrialization in such a way that it will minimize the cost and at the same time give more productivity. So many things will be done, with minimal cost, but high productivity with the advent of technology. So it's going to speed up our industrialization process and aid the issue of diversification from the monopolistic environment that we have, which is oil. If the oil is not there, you generate a lot from what technology will give to you.
And now, if you look, recently we saw Microsoft invested over $100 million to establish what it called African Development Center, and that's to develop ICT solutions and providing and supplying the rest of Africa. That's a market already. Yes, we're talking about this industrial park, talking about the National Industrial Technology Park bill, which is being discussed already. Do you think we need to worry about the market as well? Because there has to be the conversation around how to open up the value chain to create a market from all of these.
Yeah, definitely. It will open up the market. As we speak, there are different value chain, even in different sectors, that is being opened up with the advent of the introduction of technology. Before now, the traditional banking, we don't even have the place for fintech. But with the advent of technology, a lot of things are actually, spin up that has even challenged the traditional mode of banking. If you go to the health sector, same is applicable. So if you look at the value chain of every sector that we have, the advent of this technology being introduced into them will open up more market, because it's about creativity. It's about moving to the next level in the things that you need to do. So we cannot play it down. That is the intake thing now that is opening up the scope of many, value chain in every sector, every service, every production, every manufacturing sector. The advent of technology is opening up a wider scope of businesses for entrepreneurs that are ready to venture into it.
Okay. That's point taken there. But let's look at some of the challenges, with the realities on ground and insecurity and all of that. The bill also, the sponsors of the bill and those who also sat to discuss it yesterday also talk about the fact that we have challenges here. Before we pass such a bill into law to become an act, what are the key challenges? Yes, we have security and all of that. What are key challenges you think we need to address? The issue of power is there as well. But for you, I mean, what are key challenges you think may limit the success of this magnitude of, or this kind of bill?
Well, you've mentioned some of the key ones that are, standing to our feet. One, security. But like I always tell every individual, is a cycle. We'll definitely get to the end of it. But while we are in the cycle, we should start thinking outside the box what we can, achieve by the time we get to the end of the cycle. It wasn't like this. And our aspiration, our belief is that definitely it's going to get better, even as we proceed. So that's one. We expect that on the part of the government, power is critical and is a challenge as we speak for every successful technological-based environment, because most of the technology we have run 24/7, and if you must succeed in it or make meaningful achievement with some of these things, power must be guaranteed. Infrastructure too must be put in place. Our telecoms infrastructure must be improved upon. It will interest you that as we speak, people are already talking of 6G, 7G. We are yet to launch the 5G. So government needs to up the game by providing the basic infrastructure expected of a nation. We've always said that the business of the government is just to create an enabling environment, provide the infrastructure, and leave the business in the hands of the business owners and entrepreneurs for them to move those things on. So these challenges of insecurity, power, infrastructure deficit must be worked on by the government. And if they are able to put this in place, let the creativity in the hands of the entrepreneur, I can tell you that Nigeria will do better than even any developed country that we can talk about.
Let's also talk about, synergy and integration across the state. Yes, this is a bill. Of course, it's not yet passed, but then hopefully a lot of people expected that it will be finally passed. Let's bring in the state government and what they can do in terms of, creating collaboration amongst within the state government and investors as well. So where should they come in? I'm talking about the state government and, of course, private investors as well.
Yeah, the state government is the second level of governance that we have. And if we have the idea from the central body coming up on this particular thing, I think it's to the advantage of the state to give to it. Some states are already looking in that direction, even setting up technological hub. Remember, my Zuckerberg was in Lagos to check the tech hub that we have at Yaba. We've had such initiative too, I think, in Port Harcourt. So some states who understand what technology is all about have no option rather than to key into that bill when it's being passed. And on the part of the private sector, you see, it's a give and take. If you're able to contribute your own quota as private company to the central body, what you're doing is that you are going to reduce unemployment. And when you reduce unemployment, it goes spill over to bring in level of security even in the nation. So you discover that this thing are interwoven. You solve one problem, it creates another solution to another problem. So synergy between the federal, the state, and the private sector definitely will bring the actualization of Nigeria becoming a central focus, even in Africa, and a relevant place in the world if you're able to ride on this technological